Morning, everybody. We're on the Reseller Revenue Facebook group, Wake Up and Resell, and it's Thursday, which that means it's the end of our week. So we are wrapping it up for the week here. Have a busy day of calls. We have the shoe call at 10. After Russell does his beginner call, he'll go right into the shoe call. And then at 11, we have our serious sellers group. So there's a post in the Facebook group I made yesterday that reminds you of the numbers you need. There's no income requirements, no sales requirements. The only requirement is that you share your numbers. So we're sharing our numbers, and those of us that are going to be on week 2, yes, all central time. That's correct. Thanks, Larry. And Larry made these awesome graphs that kind of generate automatically after we plug in our numbers. So on week 2, we're going to start seeing them do some stuff. So if you need help finding those numbers, you need help just getting started with your numbers, just reach out. We want to be helpful, and or pop into Russell's call this morning. Maybe he can help you with that too. So, and then at 12, after the serious sellers call, is the balanced lives call with Marcia and Becky. So we've got that, but we have a special guest today. On Wednesdays, we interview coaches.
Hey, got my call.
Harry, I'm so sorry. The best call ever. We were leading up to it. We were like drum rolling. I was really, yeah, no, I don't know. 3 o'clock.
Customer, we're gonna talk about customer service today.
Yes, everybody needs to know about customer service at 3 o'clock Central, right?
Yep.
Perfect. See, I didn't really forget. I just spaced. So, please tune in to Harry because he's got a great call too. So, if not, all calls are uploaded on Patreon. Patreon, even though apparently it doesn't like the free membership thing, I made everything's public, so you can access everything on Patreon through January. Everybody can see our calls. I've been doing pretty good at getting them all uploaded. So if you see any errors, let me know. On Wednesdays, we do a interview coaches. We have some kind of special interview or somebody that comes in and talks to us about group stuff. And Carolyn was supposed to go today, but Carolyn got evacuated for the hurricane. So last minute, I reached out to my friend Rachel, and she is in the jewelry world, but she also, I would say, caters to, there's people of all types of niches kind of going into her group. She has several Facebook and marketplace places that she has started from the ground up. She knows it or not. I've kind of watched her from the very ground up come up, and she's done a fabulous job of handling these groups and handling the people in the groups. And she's just done a fabulous job. And she really resonates with us because she keeps it positive. She doesn't allow bullying. She doesn't allow any of that drama in her groups. And as far as jewelry communities, hers is the most positive one out there. There's just no doubt about it. So hopefully you guys will enjoy talking to her. I'm going to let her talk all about her different groups. And she's also selling on the district, which is kind of a new marketplace that, I've heard about, but I haven't been on except to check her stuff out. So I thought she could tell us all a little bit about that stuff. So I'm going to spotlight you, Rachel, and let you take over here.
Ooh, all right. Hi, my name is Rachel, aka LillyWorks. Hold on one second. Yes, Pemberley. Yes, you can.
They only do that when you're right in the middle of something.
No, go ahead, have an orange. So I am a, full-time stay-at-home homeschooling mom. I have a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 6-year-old. And I started out my reselling journey when I was a special education teacher, and I wanted to be able to stay home. And so I had this light bulb epiphany moment when someone was in the marriage retreat and she was saying, you all know how you go to Goodwill and you just flip things for profit. And I was like, what is this? So I dove head in researching, and I was like, I'm going to take $100, James, that's my husband. I was like, I'm going to take $100 and see where we can go with this. And now I'm able to stay home with my kids. And now I'm on the trajectory of hopefully being able to make enough money so that my husband will be able to stay home for us. And how I love how reselling, you're able to take control of your finances and your journey and your goals instead of someone else dictating that for you. So with that being said, hold on. Is there a way to mute me real quick? Hold on.
Yeah, I can mute you for just a second. So if you guys have any questions with her, she does live selling. She actually got a babysitter this morning, but you know how it is with small kids. And I did kind of spring this on her last minute. Oh, go ahead. Hang on, let me unmute you, or maybe you have to unmute yourself here.
Unmute. There we go.
There you go.
All right. So I started off with really getting into shoes. So it's really interesting that we're having shoes next, because I was like thinking I could make my name as like the shoe person, because I was doing really, really well with shoes. They were so easy. I have a bins five minutes away from my house, and I was able to buy them for $2 and then flip them for like $20 and up. So for me, that was just really easy, and I was just hustling and doing that every day. And then eventually I was on the Nurse Flipper. You guys might have heard Kat, the Nurse Flipper, and then Thrifting Vegas, Tiffany. Well, her and I were talking behind the scenes, and she said, yeah, I used to do almost exclusively shoes, but then my passion became da-da-da-da-da, and now I'm doing that. And so I was like, oh, that's not going to be me. Well, that ended up being me, because my passion ended up being the antiques, collectibles, and then the jewelry. That's kind of something I've always grown up with. And I found myself moving into that direction. And so I started a YouTube channel. I was a teacher before, so I wanted to help teach other people how to resell from home, especially those who were limited on time. And when I started reselling jewelry, I was like, wow, easy to list, easy to store, easy to ship, and you can get a lot at one time. So a lot of people that don't have time and that are not very mobile and maybe not very dexterous, it like was very enticing to them. So right now, I kind of built my community based off of women who are like, wow, I can do this too. Well, and men, but mostly women. And so my YouTube channel, I have 2 YouTube channels, and one of them is almost at 7,000, and my new baby channel right now is almost at like 3,000 subscribers. So we're still growing there. But
What are they? Go ahead and plug yourself. What are they?
So I have one that's called LillyWorks Reselling Community, and that's specifically for our resellers and for advertising. And hopefully we'll have a podcast on there, and I'm going to be highlighting the people in my community who are resellers, or people may be coming onto the podcast to talk about, like maybe Carrie might be coming onto the podcast sometime and talking about something specific that you're passionate about as far as reselling goes. So and then the other one is called LillyWorks Reseller, and that's just me. That's Thrift With Me videos. That is, sometimes I put jewelry in there. That is just, I'm using that channel to get a bigger audience, because the jewelry niche kind of can limit you. So when you do the Thrift With Me videos, people are like, ooh, that's interesting to me. Let me watch those. So that one is growing much faster, and I'm doing that on purpose. So yeah, so I have those. And then when I heard about District, that might be something that's really interesting to you guys here, is it's a new platform, and it's called district.net. It is a new reselling platform, and I see it being really big. And so I was listening to Jocelyn talk about it, who is the crazy lamp lady. And then what really struck me is when the Commonwealth Picker, he started talking about starting Dibdit with his podcast friends. And now Kevin, he's very level-headed, and he's very much like numbers guy, and very level-headed. And is it a multi-level marketing? Like, he was analyzing everything from all angles, and I was listening to what he had to say. And finally, when he was like, yep, I see this becoming something really big, so we need to get on the ground floor, I reached out to my community, which is the jewelry community for the most part, and I said, hey, you guys, is this something we're interested in? We can get on the ground floor level. What's something that you are looking to sell, and what should we name our group? So it turned out that we ended up all talking about it on the Patreon. And a lot of people wanted a place where they could cross post to, and like easily cross post to their jewelry and such. And then also be able to sell like jewelry lots and stuff like that, because we have a lot of crafters in our community as well. And so I was trying to combine the crafting community who would buy the craft lots with the people who were really passionate and were collectors. So we ended up, right now we're at like 1,500 members in our LillyWorks Jewels and Lots on District, and you can find it just going to www.lilyworksjewels.com. And I saw it starting to organically grow, where we were naturally getting people from the LillyWorks community who were passionate about what we do. And so you might be thinking, like, how is this different than Whatnot? It is so similar, but it's so different. And I know you guys were just in a call talking about Whatnot recently. And I had started off on Whatnot, and even with me being a YouTuber, I was on Whatnot for 6 months and was making $2 sales and hustling and giveaways and everything. And I know a lot has changed since then. But for me, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, where's my community? It was so hard to make a name for myself from the ground floor. And so with this more community district in mind, you're bringing in your community. So you're already starting off with that community around you. You're not starting from, ground zero. And it's a community of not only like collectors, but also teachers and learners. And there are those people who hustle. There are those people who want to sell things for $2, but that's not the majority. And that's kind of what's refreshing and elevating about having a community, is like you're able to make it what you want. And so there's how district works is there's each person who can cultivate a community. So Commonwealth Picker, Jocelyn, there's some other large Facebook group owners who have cultivated a community and a following, and then they bring that following in. And so if you go on district.net, you'll be able to see all these different marketplaces. And right now, we're in the baby stage still. But there's always new things coming out like every week, as far as the programmers are pushing things out, and always listening to what the resellers want first, instead of a big corporation telling us what we want. And so if we say, hey, you know what, I want to do progressive calculated shipping, it works for my business, they're like, oh, okay. Or recently I went to them and I said, is there a way to integrate into the program a delist relist feature? And they came back to me. The CEO was like, well, don't you think that those stale items didn't sell for a reason? And I said, not in the jewelry community. The older they get, the better, like for a lot of the pieces, the more desirable they get. And so being able to pop those back up, fresh eyes on those, I was like, it's different than the shoe community. If my Nikes didn't sell in 2 months, then there's a problem. But as far as like the jewelry for our collector community, it's different. So he was able to listen to that and, think about that. And so we're working on things like that. And so it's completely different, where the marketplace owners have more of a voice as to what their own community wants, which is super refreshing. It is a lot of work, but I see it really taking off and becoming something really different and supportive and refreshing. So any questions before I keep going? How are the fees?
Yep.
So the fees on district are 10%. And then there is the credit card processing fee, which everyone has, but it's 10%. And then for my marketplaces, I own 3. So I have a jewelry marketplace, an antiques and collectibles marketplace, and then the makers market. And I used to have a Patreon group where people would pay membership to the Patreon group. But then district kind of listened to what I had to say. So they integrated the subscription program into district. So I'm able to have it all under that umbrella. And so for me, I'm able to do more. And so if someone is a part of the subscriber program, I take another 3% off of their seller fees, which can really add up for people. And so that creates the loyalty to the community. And then also like they get that benefit of taking those fees off. And so I know each marketplace does something a little bit different, but you can end up really saving some good money. Hi, Catherine.
Let's see. I can't scroll up. There it is. So Melly
No.
said she's just really interested in hearing how you do it all with any tips and hacks, because I kind of wanted that too. You do juggle your community and your people and all that really well, and especially with kids all over during the day.
Yeah, so I saw Larry first real quick, said 10% to sell. So there's 0 fees to list. You can just go on there, start listing. I would prefer if everyone joined my community, even if you're not listing, just help us keep moving up there. But yeah, like eventually there's going to be a community that you really resonate with. And it's not something where you need to devote so much of your time in there, but you're going to be like, wow, I really resonate with Kevin, and what he's doing is he's doing a lot of lots. So he's trying to do a lot of reseller lots. And so you might say, wow, I really resonate with that. So let me get involved in that. And then eventually, hopefully, as district starts getting bigger, how Vendu and List Perfectly started partnering with all these different platforms to start cross-posting. Hopefully, as district starts getting bigger, we'll be able to do that. But it's just another platform to cross-post. And then what's really great, I don't know how other marketplaces do this, but you can connect your social media and your Facebook groups so that you're advertising within your own market. And so what's great about the antiques and collectibles and the jewelry is it's a really healthy balance of buyers and sellers, which I was really worried about coming in and being like, oh my gosh, we're all resellers. How is this going to work? Who's going to buy? Come to find out that when you're adding in the teaching aspect and you're growing, because I'm naturally a teacher, and then Jocelyn also is a teacher and is teaching us about the glass and stuff, and that draws that collector's market as well. So it's not just a bunch of resellers just trying to pinch $2 and $5 off of each other to try to resell it back onto eBay. Like I'm able to, like this piece right here might, this is a, what is it called? This is called an Ayala bar. So this is like a $400 necklace here. I've never heard of it before, but this is a boho designer right here. And I can just go ahead and talk about it to my community. And because they trust me, built that relationship with me, and I'll say, you know what, I'm going to sell this for 200. I'm going to give you guys a deal. And a lot of times they'll buy it. And so you're building that community. It's not just trying to pinch off of each other to resell as a buy it now. There is obviously some of that for people who want to move their inventory, but having a community is definitely a plus. And then you're able to also advertise yourself. I advertise my people on our YouTube, and then they're able to advertise themselves via Instagram and then also on our Facebook groups. And so people who are scrolling through Facebook are like, oh, there's a blue brooch and that looks great in my collection. And then they'll end up purchasing it because someone advertised for themselves in our group. So as far as balancing, I have no balance. I used to have a really great streamlined system when I was doing my YouTube, and I was more of a part-time reseller, but making full-time income. That was kind of like my tagline, but anything you're starting up. So I started up these marketplaces. You have to invest a lot of time and energy and money into, which I'm still in that baby stage. So I was talking to Carrie about, it started hitting me where And people preach this all the time, you know, in the reseller world. Don't put all of your eggs into one basket, right? Like diversify, get affiliate links, put yourself out there on social media, like just diversify. Don't just do one thing. And so because I was a marketplace owner, I did put I had to at the time put all my eggs into my district communities. And now I'm like, uh-oh, eBay died for me. And when you, for any of us, it's like, oh no, eBay died. That's like the worst thing. So now I'm having to section my time into, okay, I'm going to do 10 listings a day on eBay, get the algorithm back up. I'm going to go to my booths on the weekend. I have 2 separate locations for booths. And then I have my YouTube channels and all that stuff. And then because I can't do it all on my own, and I'm running all these groups and Facebook groups. I think the biggest thing is creating really strong relationships behind the scenes, because I have people who are doing things for me. If that makes sense, because I'm not an organized person. So but I'm a good delegator. So that's one thing, is if you're planning on ever growing big, so this might be Carrie, right? Carrie might be like, yep, I see that goal in my future of like creating a really strong big community, is being able to know that sometimes people burn you and take advantage of you, but setting up those people along the line who you're networking with, and you know, you're good at this and I'm good at that. And then I have these little like teams under me who, like, some of them just want to spread positivity. Some of them want to be teachers. Some of them want to advance just the LillyWorks community and stuff like that. So I kind of have all these teams in the background. And so when I was talking to the CEO at District, I was like, I can't do this all on my own. And I'm like, how do people do this? And he was like, well, you need to start creating teams, Rachel. And I'm like, I can't pay people to create teams, you know? And he's like, no, that's part of creating a business, is people start networking, realize, oh, my name will be seen more for my individual business if I'm helping this business who is jumpstarting and growing quickly. So I was actually really pleasantly surprised. I probably should have taken that plunge a lot sooner and built those relationships a lot sooner, because I was worried of people feeling like they're being taken advantage of. But I didn't realize that there are a lot of people out there that want to partner and help each other grow. And yeah, so that's kind of like how I'm juggling it right now at the moment. So yeah.
So what are the processing fees? They're not 10%, are they? It's not another 10% on top of the 10%, right?
No, processing. So it's 10% for the fees. And then the processing fee, I think, is like around 2%, I believe.
Between 2 and 4 sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when they are a member with you, then basically it's almost like getting their processing for free.
Right. Well, yeah. Yeah. So I have different tier levels. So the $15 a month for me, you get the LillyWorks vault of, you know, the jewelry makers marks that I've created. So a lot of the things that I've created along the lines, they have access to those things, and a special private Facebook group, and all these things that I have kind of created for my Patreon group is now kind of moved over into District, because now I'm really seeing it. Wow, this is going to be big. This is going to be a community thing. And kind of like, I don't know, I'm kind of hoping that people are going to start seeing it a little bit differently, because right now it's like, oh, just another place where people are just going to go live and, you know, try to make money off of each other, and it's going to be a bloodbath. But people are, when they do join, well, at least LillyWorks, they're like, oh my gosh, I just came from this platform and this one is like a big hug, because people are genuinely invested in their people and they're not trying to, it's like because it's a community, it's not super competitive. It's like you're sharing what you have and they're sharing what they have, and it's very organic and it's awesome. I love it.
Anybody have any questions for Rachel? About the selling or the,
So do you, if I joined your group, then I would just be buying or selling within that group, or just buying within that group, and how does that work?
Yeah. So you would come in. So I have 3 different marketplaces. The biggest one is the LillyWorks Jewels and Lots, but you can easily find any of them by just typing LillyWorks into district.net and you'll be able to see all 3. You can, when you join, it will say join a market, then you join and you're able to buy. When you apply to sell, the different marketplace owners will review your application because they want the people who are selling in that market to fit their vibe, so to speak. So my big thing is my core values and LillyWorks core values is sustainability, positivity, and a love for vintage and collectors. So if I have somebody coming in that is selling things from Temu or whatever, I kind of like talk to them like that's not something that would really fit into like our marketplace because that's not where our like you're just not going to be successful. And so I would review the application and you would put links to your eBay store, your Poshmark, just so, or you can even like just describe it of what you like to sell. And then once I've reviewed the application and you're approved to go live, schedule lives just like you would on a Whatnot. And in my marketplace, you don't have to ask me first if you've already been approved to go live. You can just go live and start connecting and networking with other members and say, hey, I want to do a blingy brooch train. Is anybody in? I'm going to do it this Saturday. Or I have someone who she just threw out, she wants to do breast cancer awareness week. And so what's happening is because she's throwing that out there to the community, it's putting like a spotlight on her, even though it's going to be some more work, but she's not starting with like, she's not just throwing out ideas and nobody's listening. And for me, it was really hard when I was on other platforms to try to join trains, to like connect with people. And so they're able to like kind of connect with people a lot easier and make relationships a lot faster because we're all, in the LillyWorks community. And then I really highly encourage people in my community, at least, and I might be letting all my secrets out for other marketplaces, but my community specifically does a lot of teaching as well. So that's another reason that I want to get a lot of more YouTubers and things like that. We have like a bunch of YouTubers in our community already, but I want people to feel like they don't have pressure to just, press the live and then they have to sell. They can press the live and just teach. They can press the live and teach and advertise for their social media. They can press the live and teach and advertise for their reseller revenue. So
is that just one at a time? Like, do you have to sign up for a slot?
I mean, we do have trains. So I conduct the weekend trains. And one of those trains is called Learning with LillyWorks. And that's going to be a once a month train on the weekend. And so first we start off on Saturday in our Jewels and Lots train. And then Sunday we do it in our Antiques and Collectibles train. And Learning with LillyWorks means you pick a topic that you want to teach and you can choose to sell if you want to. And honestly, teaching helps you sell the higher end things. So when I was teaching about early plastics, I was able to say, this is some Galilith jewelry. This is some casein jewelry. People didn't know what that was, but all of a sudden in their eyes, they're like, wow, that's valuable. I need that. And so you're appealing to that collector heart. with that teaching aspect in there. So I really encourage people, if they do want to bring in some higher end pieces, eventually make sure you're teaching as well, because you're growing yourself within LillyWorks. So that's the main thing, is you're growing your own business and you're kind of jump starting growing your own business within a community. Yeah, so live can be kind of either or. Like you'll see people say, they'll just put it out on the Facebook page, like, hey, I'm really thinking about doing a hump day train or something like that. And then other people like, oh, I'll take the 6 o'clock spot. Oh, I'll do this. And so you're kind of like supporting each other and creating your own train doing that. So yeah.
Anybody else have any questions, comments, colorful remarks?
I have a question. What does your
Melanie.
day look like, Rachel? When you wake up, what does a normal day look like in your schedule? What do you do? How do you prioritize? What sometimes takes a back burner? How does that look?
Okay, so being a homeschooling mom, I have that. So today I'm actually going to be teaching in a co-op today. But usually what that looks like is I wake up and I'm getting a lot of things done as far as announcements go, what the day is going to look like, who has shows, and I connect with some of my main people that are behind the scenes. And so because my day is so full, I'm connecting with those people and I know that they're going to get their stuff done, because my biggest role is creating a community and making sure all of the pieces are moving that need to be moving, and also being a social media presence, bringing people in. So people all kind of know that. So I know, okay, Kathy's going to be she's going to be making reels and blasting them all over the place. And so is going to be blasting the newbie train. And so I have these people in place and I'll kind of connect with them. And then I usually have taken pictures for eBay the night before on my phone. And then throughout my day as a homeschool mom, I've always done this where my goal has always been 10, but I always try to get more than 10 listed on eBay. So throughout the day, this morning I got 6 done already on eBay, and then I cross-posted them into our Buy It Now for District, because now District is paying for Google ads for our listings. So sometimes if I'm even using Google Lens for, say, these full bay clip-on earrings, and someone has them listed on District, they will pop up. I see district.net listings all the time now, which is awesome. And that's why I'm encouraging my members all the time to, cross post. It might be a baby now, but things are moving, things are grooving, and I see the potential. So, and like I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket type of thing. And then usually I put out 2 YouTube videos a week, and then in my evening is when I'm the most busy, because I'm doing live sales. I'm doing live, I'll get to that question. That's a good question. I'm doing live sales 4 times a week, and I'm doing that to be an example to the community, and because I want to create the culture. And so I'm doing my Jewels and Lots on Tuesdays, which I just did a co-hosting. There's a co-hosting feature where you can go back and forth, and this person brings up an item, and then the next person brings up an item, and then the money goes to each individual account when you're co-hosting. And I did that on Tuesday, and then Thursday nights I do my antiques and collectibles, and then the weekends are trains. And then my evenings are also, so what I do is people can sign up on my Calendly for me to live stream them to our LillyWorks reseller community Facebook group. So I don't know if you've ever been scrolling on lives on YouTube, but you'll see a bunch of people who are selling on Whatnot that have YouTube channels. And their whatnots are connected to their YouTube, and you'll see, oh, there's 30 people watching on whatnot from YouTube. And it's people who have somewhat of a YouTube presence. And so because I do, and because I have a community, I'm not just streaming myself. If someone's schedules with me on my Calendly, I will stream their show to our YouTube. And so I do that in the evenings. And okay, so I'm going to get back. I do my homeschooling and they do a program called My Academy, which is an online homeschooling where I can print out worksheets. And basically sometimes I just take them to the park and I just have my phone and I'm doing the things like creating reels, doing whatever, listing. And yeah, that's basically my balance. My biggest thing that I'm relying on right now are those people that I have that I can trust, that fully believe in the community and the vision. And yeah, so anyways, where am I able to see comments? I think one.
You were seeing the chat, right?
I can't see the chat. I'm on my phone, so I don't know what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I think you were, because you were answering the questions.
Well, I know I saw one pop up and then it disappears for
Oh,
me.
okay. So it probably, okay. So let me see. So I think we're right here. Why do you have more than one YouTube channel or more than one district group? What's the benefit of having more than one?
So my main one was my it used to be mostly for jewelry. And that's the one that's almost at 7,000 subscribers. And then when I was trying to build the district community, I was live streaming, and YouTube doesn't like it when you are constantly live streaming but not putting out regular content. And so I realized, okay, like this one I'm going to have to fully dedicate to district because it will not push out my main videos. And so my other one, I'm trying to be a little bit more mindful of growing a community. So even though I'm mostly jewelry, I'm doing a lot of thrift with me's, and that's to grow faster. For me as an individual, and as a community leader. So I'm doing it in a strategic way, and that's kind of why I have two. So one of them is like the main, and that's actually what's the one that's going to be making money, because you don't really make money on live streaming people. So the one that's growing, that's the one that's going to start making the most money. And the reason I have 3 different marketplaces is because so for instance, Jocelyn was able to say, hey, I'm launching knickknacks, and everyone just jumps on knickknacks. And it's people not just selling knickknacks. Like she can name it knickknacks and people are like, it's because it's Jocelyn. But because I'm a smaller community like leader and owner, I have to be a little bit more strategic in how I name my group or how I name my marketplaces. Because there's some people that are naming it like Dib did or whatever, and people are like, what is that? What does that even mean? Or keeping it real, like what does that even mean? You have to be strategic when naming your marketplace. So I have Jewels and Lots, Antiques and Collectibles, and Makers Market, very like straightforward. So people that are looking for a market know what to find. Another reason I have 3 is because when you're searching through categories, and you'll see like the jewelry is in the women's fashion market, the Antiques and Collectibles is in the collector's category, and then the Makers Market is in the crafting category. So I have they're all part of different categories, whereas I think like knickknacks is part of the collectibles category, even though they sell all kinds of stuff. But she has a big enough following where it doesn't matter. Like people are just like, yep, I think like she has what, like, I don't know, 300,000 subscribers or something. So I'm trying to be a little bit more strategic with that. And then jewelry, honestly, you guys, this is a little hot tip, but jewelry does so well with live selling. It's ridiculous. So with me having my biggest marketplace being LillyWorks Jewels and Lots, that's kind of climbing us up in the leaderboard. If I just were to do LillyWorks Jewels and LillyWorks Jewels, Antiques, and Makers, we might not I might not grow as fast because jewelry is the most popular right now, where the other ones are kind of like the antiques and collectibles sell best right now as a buy it now, unless you're kind of like showcasing, it's called shop the shelves, or you're showcasing what you have. And then if someone's really interested or they're a collector, then they'll purchase something from you. But jewelry is kind of, or even like sports cards, you know, it's kind of like potato chips. Like you can buy a lot and it's low shipping and it fits right into your collection. And so it works super well. Sometimes ephemera also can work really, really well with live selling. So yeah, that's kind of why I have that.
And Vendu cross post to district?
Not yet. So district has to get big enough to be able to really get the attention. So it took Whatnot a very long time to get that attention by Vendu. And so it's going to take a bit, but how you post on district is really, really, really easy. The marketplace owner, all you do is you put in your pictures, put your title, put condition, and then the marketplace owner has put in all these preset tags based off of your community. So one of my communities is jewelry. So I'll put like all these keywords like Art Deco, Art Nouveau, chic, 1980s, you know, or whatever. I'll put all these different tags, and all you have to do is find a tag that fits, and then that will go into the different categories that I created. Put your price, boom, done. There's not really any other item specifics that are too terrible. There's not color. It's people are mostly just searching for an item based on the title. So as long as you have a really good title, you're good. You're good to go. And then sometimes we will feature your items in like collections and stuff like that. So cross posting, all I do on eBay is I first list on eBay, and then no character attributes. First list on eBay, and I'll copy my title, and then I'll have my price in my mind, and then I go on to my district, list item, and then I put the price in, and it takes me another extra minute. Now I do have the automatic delist feature on my Vendu, but I don't. So when I go onto my Vendu and I see all the things that have sold from my marketplaces, and it will say like you have to enter in the amount or whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about when you see the sold. And it'll say 16 items have sold, and then you have to enter in the information. I will go into my district then and make sure that it's not something that I have cross-posted over there. You can have the option to connect with the district team. What they can do is they can take whatever eBay listings that are applicable. Say you're new to district and you're in our jewelry community, and you have 1,000 items to list onto district. And you're like, that's going to take me forever. They can go behind the scenes, create a CVS file, and they can cross post a big bulk portion for you right off the bat. And you just have to ask them, and then that would be put into whatever marketplace you fit into. So
I
there's
could
that,
like
and then
full cross post 2,000 pieces of jewelry.
yeah, you just have to contact them, and then they'll create like a file for you, and it's kind of like an Excel spreadsheet type of thing where you're just like I haven't done it because I should have. I just didn't know about it. And now I'm telling everybody, yep, go ahead, you can do that. And yeah, so you can totally do that.
Perfect. What kind of big brother or governance does like the district impose, like INAD, shipping policies, like if something gets lost in the mail, things like that for district?
So that's a good question. So there is a fire protection, and they're very flexible right now. So, you know, for the most part, everyone's treating it like their business. There's not really like scammers out there that's like, I never got my thing, and you can see that it was delivered. So there is that tracking accountability, and 48 hours after something's been delivered, your money gets released to you. So there's So there's that. But I haven't really come across where things have been lost in the mail, but because they're such a small business right now, if you reach out to district support, I know they make it right away until those stronger policies are in place. So they're, I mean, like, keep reiterating that they're a baby and they really want to make it work. So they're very much like, oh, this is lost in the mail. Let's see what we can do. Or they really want you to treat your business like a business first. Like, what can you do as a professional first? So usually people come to me first before district, and they'll say, hey, Rachel, someone said this was broken in the mail and I know I sent it and I bubble wrapped it and blah, blah, blah. So then I talk them through. I'm like, well, what can you do as a professional? like, do you want them to be a happy customer because this is your business, and you're representing LillyWorks? And, or like, just reach out, because the thing is like, you're in a community right now and everyone kind of like knows each other for the most part. And so it is also holding each other to a certain accountability as well. So it's like, oh, Erin bought from me. She's one of my regular buyers. I want to make it right, or whatever. But there is district terms of service, and there's also Stripe terms of service. And Stripe is the payment processor, where they go over all that stuff as far as the returns, refunds, all that stuff. But I know that right now, nothing's like, well, if the buyer says, then you're screwed. There's none of that right now. So it's very much individual basis right now, is because it's still like a baby company.
Perfect. Well, I really appreciate you taking time, and tell your mom thanks for popping in and babysitting.
Oh, she's
for
not.
us.
The tablet is babysitting right now.
Oh, like you said, your mom was coming, so then I was like,
I was hoping.
well, they've done very good. So tell your kids thanks for being patient with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, and I bet we will meet again.
Hey, everyone, make sure you join our district. It's www.lilyworks with 1L jewels.com, and then you should be able to find the other marketplaces and connect. Woohoo!
Yep, I put a thing up with your 3 main ones too on the Facebook.
Yay! Thank you so much, Carrie.
Yep, thanks for coming in.
Yay! Bye.
All right. So, do we have any questions we need to get answered this morning before I hop off? Anything anybody needs?
I just wanted to quickly throw out a thank you to Rachel. And is it correct in saying that the reason this is kind of short notice is, and it would be helpful if we can maybe have some prayers and thoughts and whatever is appropriate. Carolyn could not do today's call. She's faced with the tropical storm turned soon to be hurricane here, and that's some real serious stuff.
Oh shoot, I forgot about that this morning. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was thinking about her yesterday.
Um,
And Larry, where's Larry? Is that, he's in
No,
Texas.
I'm in Houston.
Houston, yeah, Texas.
We'll get one in a week or two.
Right. Okay, Jason, thanks for saying that, because our prayers are with Carolyn. That's right.
She drove out yesterday, I believe. She
Yeah,
evacuated.
they evacuated yesterday.
What a bummer. Can you imagine?
She
you
lives
leave your
right on the
eBay
water. Like, she lives right on the
Yeah.
ocean.
I remember her telling me that. Can you imagine leaving your eBay stuff, everything behind? That would be so hard. Imagine having to do that today.
Well, her
That would be
warehouse is somewhere
hard.
else, so her warehouse should be okay. But
Oh,
It's at a whopping 8 feet elevation or something crazy like that. I don't
yeah,
know.
she's right on the water. All right. Well, I wanted to tell you too, I had another, I think I'm getting a rash. So a whole bunch of these returns issues I've been having are, hey, I got this and I feel like this. So what can you do with me so I don't have to file a return with you? So I feel like there's like, and it's pretty scammy, and they all only have like 50 to 100 feedback, and kind of just makes me feel like it's a thing, and then a couple of, they don't ever send it back. So I think they're just like feeling out partial returns pretty hard right now. And lucky for us, we went over the new eBay feedback policy yesterday, and my feedback got removed within like less than 5 minutes after the call yesterday. So follow that automated feedback process and quote, you know, I've always tried to use eBay's own policies for your own good. So I had no problem saying, hey, per your new policy, please remove this feedback. And they did immediately, no questions asked. I didn't have to provide anything. So fingers crossed that this will be a good thing. I
Wow,
think a
you
big
didn't have to say anything else except for per your policy, please remove this feedback.
well, I just said what it did. So my exact thing said was per your policy, and I quoted the policy.
That's pretty dope though, because that's quick and fast, and
It was
should be
super
like that.
fast. It was super fast, and the feedback was, it said that my flaws were photographed but not described. Well, in the new feedback policy, the exact policy is negative feedback will be removed for complaints on flaws that were documented not in photographs or description by the seller. So I thought, well, this should be cut and dry, and it was. I had no problems.
Harry, what mechanism did you use to reach out to them? The
So
Facebook
there's
or?
new boxes. Let's see. So eBay for Facebook or whatever, eBay for business on Facebook no longer can do anything with feedback. That ended months ago. So you can't contact them for feedback. But there's new boxes in our eBay, like customer service type thing. And one of them is, do you have problems with the feedback? And then I just followed the boxes and I clicked the box, and no big deal. So it literally was super fast, and I didn't have to attach anything or do anything, and I didn't have any, although I haven't really had any trouble with negative feedback in the past, but yet I had such big issues with those neutrals on the thing, and they never even purchased the item and were leaving me feedback. So I'm hoping that they are looking, working with us a little bit more on this feedback issue. Now, if they could like hit the whole returns issues when people are shaking us down for money, that would be great. I'm not giving in to the partial refunds. I do if somebody shows me a picture and it's the item I sent them and it was broken in the package, right? Sometimes I will if it's a customer I've dealt with before. If not, I'm still going to make them open a return. I may just give them their money and not make them send it back. I'm still going to make them open the return, because in the new update for the feedback request, it says free returns. When you process the return correctly, you have feedback protection again, and they had taken that away. So awesome. So let's make them open the return, do the process. If you don't want to pay to send it back, that's fine. Then you could just close it and refund. Make them do the process. So lots of them won't do the process. I think this lady today, I think she was just shaking me down. So I don't think she's even gonna file it. Jewelry, a thing has been lately is, well, I don't think the maker's mark's quite right. And like, they have no idea what they're really talking about. They're just trying to get you to give them a partial refund, because then they'll be like, well, then I'm going to be forced to open a return if you don't give me a partial refund. Well, also in our update and our feedback, it says, if they ask for something we don't offer, I don't offer partial refunds. So we have to use eBay's policies for good type of thing for us too. So, all right, I'm going to stop the recording. This one's just going to be a long one too.